Alright, kings, gentlemen, everyone else, welcome to yet another exciting episode of Unkempt Park Olympics. And today we're gonna have to talk about the scummy, criminal, scammy nature of right-wing politics in America and increasingly the world. Now, what do I mean by this? As you may have noticed, and as I have been mentioning every other video, the American right has essentially become the coalition of the scammers, the party of scammers. You have the president himself, Mr. Donald J. Trump, Mr. Orange Toddler himself, running a massive crypto scam on his own supporters. Although I suspect the main purpose of the Trump coins crypto thing is to solicit bribes from enemies of the United States, both foreign and domestic. Like, he recently had that crypto dinner where 2/3 of the attendants, I believe, were Chinese, and 3/4 in all were foreigners, right? And the domestic ones were not very nice people either. The top donor being Justin Sun, who is the world's biggest crypto scammer, from what I can ascertain. He was this guy runs a scummy crypto exchange in China, and he was prosecuted by the SEC, by the authorities in China, by all sorts of financial regulatory agencies for being a scamming piece of shit. This is probably the guy who stole, $20,000 from your grandma's account because he told her to invest in a shitcoin. And of course, the Trump SEC dropped all charges and investigations into Justin Sun. And of course, the Trump administration destroyed the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, whose task is to protect consumers from crypto scams, among other things, but scams more generally. Banks inventing fees so they can take money out of your account and line their own pockets. And this is not just a Trump thing. This is a more general thing. Like, there is massive amounts of crypto money, dark money, just pouring into the campaign coffers of American politicians of both parties, to be fair, but especially in the Republican Party, because the Biden administration decided at that late hour when it was operating to finally crack down on scamming, crypto scams, and in general, just financial crime. And of course, the crypto people interpreted this as literally socialism, because not being allowed to scam pensioners out of their savings is socialism, apparently, according to these people. We can get into why that is so. I was thinking of actually just writing an article instead of recording a video about that. There is a particular mindset among these libertarian, neo-reactionary, and libertarian adjacent people, and the entire crypto space is just those guys, that not being allowed to steal and scam is an unacceptable infringement upon liberty. It's insane, but it's what these people believe. Well, anyways, that's the crypto angle. So the Trump administration is the crypto scammer administration, but I recently read a book review, not a book, because that would take time and effort, right? And but I'm increasingly convinced I need to read the book itself, because it tells the story of how scammers essentially took over the Republican Party in a gradual process beginning in the 1980s, or in the 1970s, really. So it tells the story of Amway, which is a multi-level marketing company, and I think everyone knows what multi-level marketing means. I'm not going to say it here because these people are clownishly litigious. They make Scientologists look like reasonable people. And they're also very cultish, just like Scientologists. So, clownishly litigious and cultish. Yeah, what could go wrong? But I think everyone understands what a multi-level marketing firm is. Hint, it has to do with the burial structures of Egyptian kings. And these people essentially bankrolled the Reagan campaign and were the Reagan campaign in many ways. They managed to get a bunch of regulations that prevented them from extracting value from people believing they can be their own boss, they can run their own businesses from their own homes, selling makeup or cooking appliances or, I don't know, whatever the fuck. They believe they could, they just extract money and value from these people. And they got one of their people to be chairman of the SEC, or I think it was another function during the Reagan years, and they slowly but surely took over the Republican Party and imbued this ethos of the government cracking down on scams and deception is socialism. The government cracking down on scams and deception, on fraud, is an unacceptable breach of liberty, an unacceptable government encroachment on the God-given right of Americans to deceive their fellow citizens out of money. And the Amway people, these are the DeVos family, and you may remember Betsy DeVos was Trump's first Secretary of Education. This is a woman who in the 90s wrote an essay about how essentially when her extremely rich family gives political contributions, she expects something in return, right? Basically softly admitting that the DeVos family, that Amway and the Republican Party are engaged in influence peddling. This was all the way back in the 90s, and I'm just finding out today, right? And of course, her brother is Eric Prince of Blackwater infamy. And so, you know, make of that what you will. Prince is also connected somewhat tenuously to the whole neo-reaction thing. All I can really tell is that the neo-reactionaries basically worship the ground this guy walks on because they all dream about privatizing the military. And Blackwater being a mercenary company, well, that's exactly what they want. Anyways, so the Republican Party has been the party of scammers for a very long time. And as I have said repeatedly on this channel, this is one of the reasons I don't really consider right-wingers, and especially, you know, just these populist type right-wingers to be at all masculine, because a man keeps his word, a man is honest in business. But these guys don't have that same idea. These guys have the idea that a man is essentially a thug, a criminal, someone who takes things from others against their will, whether by force or by deception, doesn't really matter. Their idea of masculinity is the same as the gangster rappers, you know. I'm a man because I kill people and I rape women and I deal drugs and I get in shootouts with the police, and that's my masculinity. My penis is very big because I commit crimes. That's their idea of what a man is. So, and of course that's the society they aim to construct. They aim to construct dysfunctional ghettos where extremely rich people extract the value out of everyone else who has no legal recourse. And the extraction will be done by force, it will be done by deception, it will be done by every scuzzy, scammy method available, while the rich, the elite, add nothing to society, which is the complete opposite of a civilized society. The complete and utter fucking opposite of what we're trying to achieve here in the West, in Europe. America has essentially defected from Western civilization to the third world, led by Russia and China, two countries which are actually notorious for scamming. Russia is the scam capital of the world. The Chinese scam, the Indian scam, the fucking Arab scam. Everyone is scamming out there. And they're usually trying to scam Europeans. They're usually trying to scam Americans, but now scamming is legal in America. Fraud is legal. Crime is legal. So, I guess the real resistance, the complete and utter resistance to this new synthesis of the, or it's not really a synthesis, it's an apotheosis of the American right, the apotheosis of the Republican Party, which is leaking out into Europe, by the way. These people have a lot of sympathizers in YouTube among the financial class who, you know, they too would like to legalize scamming and fraud here in Europe. And they're very worried about regulatory overreach of the European Union or the various member states, which prohibit them from scamming pensioners out of their hard-earned savings. So we got to be on the lookout for this. So the new movement that is going to defeat these people will have to be anti-scamming. Or in other words, if the GOP is the scam party, the Democrats will have to be the anti-scam party. The party of, we are going to throw crypto scammers in federal pound-me-in-the-ass prison. Mandatory minimum sentencing for, you know, fraud, white-collar crime, crypto scamming, like 25 to life for scamming grandma out of her savings, and 25 for life for peddling shitcoin. You know, I wouldn't just vote for that, even though I'm not American, right? I wouldn't just vote for that. I would rub my feet raw, you know, break my arm door knocking, campaigning for someone who promises an end of scamming, because scamming is a fucking epidemic on the internet in America. It's beginning to pick up steam here in Europe as well. And so those are the battle lines. Civilized, lawful people against scammers and fraudsters. And that's the right. They're the scammers and fraudsters. Bye-bye, folks, and take care.